tumba. Nena baji malili, kumajinga mbajili tumba. Nena baji malili, kuna obwila tumba. Nena baji malili, maufiri ukujita. Nena baji malili, kumajinga mbajili tumba. Haji mwene, haji mwene, haji mwene,
Leading you to the southeastern part of Africa is a landlocked country defined with highlands, lakes and valleys, Malawi, where 87% of the country's populations are Christians. Among the countless number of churches in Malawi is the United Methodist Church as well as the Methodist Church.
We have different strands of the Methodist family. Those of us in Ghana, our roots are from the British Methodist. There are some whose roots are American, and those are the United Methodist churches. So, but our doctrines and our teachings are all one. Just that where your roots are, that is what determines who you are. And for us in Ghana, because we were first seen by British Methodism, our strand is the British Methodist. And those who have missionaries coming from the United States of America are the United Methodist churches.
Methodist churches across Africa are growing and strive to serve the holistic needs of the communities where they serve. One of which is the Malawi Methodist Church, where Bishop Smart Msinku, presiding bishop of Malawi Methodist Church, has called on the Methodist Church Ghana to come to their aid.
I received a letter and a call from the immediate past presiding bishop that he had been contacted by the church, Methodist Church in Malawi, and they needed our support in terms of evangelism. So we decided to have an interaction with the one who made that call to come over and to see what help we could give them. But we asked for their history and their structures and what they were doing. And this had a discussion with the current presiding bishop, the Most Reverend Titus Kofi Awotwe-Pratt, because some of the letters that they sent were also directed to him. And having read through their requests, it became very necessary for us to go there and see what was on the ground and what help we could offer the young Methodist church in Malawi. And so, upon the recommendation of the presiding bishop, I had to travel to Malawi, Lilongwe, to meet them and to see what kind of support or need we could give. And that is what sent me out from Ghana to Malawi.
Bishop Smart Msinku led the administrative bishop to visit these 5 Methodist parishes in Malawi, namely Lilongwe, Mangochi, Ncho, Balaka, and Chikwakwa.
got to Incho around 5 a.m. And that was Sunday dawn. And the first service was to start at 10, so I had to catch a little sleep and then get up, get ready, and at around 9 we set off to go to church. And they were all anxious to see the bishop come from Ghana to visit. He had announced that they were going to be receiving me. So Sunday morning we went, and I was warmly received, and I joined them in the Incho Methodist Church.
This is Incho Methodist Parish, situated about 150 kilometers from the capital of Malawi, Lilongwe. With membership of about 200 people, they worship in this wooden structure, sited on a small plot of land yet to be acquired. On a usual Sunday morning church service, they set up these benches for the congregation and 3 small table chairs for the minister and the liturgist.
Hallelujah. Amen. At this juncture, we will allow our children to go to their class.
The Malawi Methodist Church was founded in 2015. Growing at a rapid pace, Bishop Smart Msinku has single-handedly established 50 Methodist churches across Malawi within a space of 2 years. The Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo continued his tour through the various young Methodist societies known as parishes. At Balaka Methodist Parish, upon the arrival of the administrative bishop, members had closed from the Sunday service. But when they heard the Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, administrative bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, is paying them a visit, they rushed back to the church premises in their numbers. Their place of worship is thatched roof. Its side is broken and bare. The congregation sits on the floor for their service. These leaders of Balaka Methodist Parish work selflessly to keep the church running, regardless the lack of hymn books, Bibles, instruments, chairs, etc. The Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo made another step over at the Mangochi Methodist Parish. This poor mat fenced and thatched roof building serves as their place of worship. They have an average membership of 200. On the arrival of the administrative bishop's visit, they had to meet under a big tree near the chapel. Regardless of their challenges, members of the choir, clothed in pink and blue uniform, sang very well with a joyful heart.
This is the choir that featured on Sunday at Incho. I promised visiting them today and I am here. So they are so delighted to see me. And I know that they are going to do a very good performance when they are called upon to do it.
One of the instruments used by this church is this locally made guitar. Before it is played, it is fine-tuned to produce a sweet, sensational melody.
They are fine-tuning their guitar. It's helping to fine-tune the guitar before they sing. Traditional guitar.
In Malawi, some families struggle to survive, but they are working diligently with their lay leaders to thrive. The leaders are few, and their level of education is very low to take up full leadership responsibilities to nurture the young church members.
Malawi Methodist Church, and my visit was the second Sunday I spent in Malawi. In fact, I traveled the length and breadth of Malawi, and so we had to move from Incho to Chikwawa, driving through Blantyre and other big cities in Malawi. So we lodged overnight, and then early morning we had to also continue with our drive to Chikwawa. Chikwawa Methodist Church is also very young, and we had to meet under a tree. Their chapel was also a thatched one, but it could not contain the numbers, so we had to meet under a tree so close to the chapel. And they were all anxious to see me come over to visit. And the service was also very interesting, laced with singing, dancing, and preaching of the word, the prayers. And you could see the young boys and girls all enthusiastically singing and dancing, and the old men and the women. You could see that, yes, they were zealous for the Lord, and it was very interesting to see them come to faith and worshiping the Lord, and I really enjoyed the service in Chikwawa.
Are you
It had rained in the morning when the administrative bishop visited the Malawi Methodist Church. They met outside. They couldn't meet in the chapel because the chapel's roof was ripped off by a storm.
Tikudziwa kuti nthawi ina mudzabweranso ife tikulakalaka titakaona kwanu kugana koma chifukwa tilibe pogwira inu mumakhala kwanuko ndi mogwira mukulu mopondanso mukulu mukhoza kudzatitenga tikaonekonso kuti kodi kugana.
I know that June you are coming again, but what he is admiring is to see Ghana one day.
Okay.
So that you can experience difference between Ghana and Malawi.
All right. Good.
Ndima amenewa ambuye akudalitseni.
With that word, God should bless you.
Bless you too. Bless you too.
Daily subsistence is not to be taken for granted, as pastors work very hard to provide for their families as well as assist and support their congregations and communities.
Okay, thank you very much, Bishop, for your coming. This is just a joyful coming, and you have encouraged us, and your words are really words of hope and faithfulness. And you have mentioned a good thing that we have to stay in the Word of God. And our prayer here, Bishop, also is a prayer for Bibles. We don't have Bibles, but Bible reading. So, so then this Bishop would like to pray for Bibles so that we can be grounded in the biblical message. And also, Bishop, we have a problem of hymn books. As you can see, we are just singing from memory and the like, but we would like to put this systematically in a book. Thank you very much, Bishop, for your work.
The Malawi Methodist Church is faced with a number of challenges. 1. They lack Bibles and hymns for worship. They have inadequate chapel buildings and facilities for service. They lack the manpower to handle their churches or parishes, so the need for capacity building, especially the leaders. The means of transportation for the bishop and leaders to carry out the day-to-day activities is also a challenge.
The other thing that I think we should be looking at in terms of the help we can give, I see it as two ways. One, if the church, this young church, which is about 3 years old, with parishes, as the bishop wants to call them, in Incho, Chikwawa, and Mangochi, and Balaka, and he is the sole person moving around. He could have gone out to establish his own church and call it any name, but he thinks that no, he wants to be a Methodist, and so he's establishing these societies for the Methodist Church in Malawi. For all the places that I visited, which seem to be what in our structure would be a circuit head, did not have a chapel. They did not have a chapel. If they had, it was just a thatched roofed marsh building, which did not look like a chapel at all. And I think that if we can go in and build chapels for them, it will also go to boost their enthusiasm for the Lord, and it's something that we need to look at. They do not have the the Bibles, and this is one of the Bibles they gave to me. This is in Chikawa. It's written, that's the Buku Lopatukuleka Mulu Mau Mulungu. That is the word of God, and this is the Bible. When it gets to transportation, the bishop is not having a vehicle. As I went in, he had to rent a vehicle, or I think a friend gave him his car so we could travel around. But for them, a motorbike or a bicycle would even do for the people who are manning these churches, so that they could be mobile and travel around to do the evangelism. The way Bishop Smart Musungu is working, I can see that he would have covered a lot of the grounds in Malawi for the Methodist Church, because he seemed to be receiving invitations from chiefs and their elders to come over and evangelize their communities. And I see him as a zealous man for God, and he will do a very good thing. And so I see that it has a bright future. It has a bright future if he will get the support with manpower training for his people, so they could also help in taking other parts of the country.
The establishment of a strong and vibrant Methodist Church in Malawi will develop on both numerical and spiritual growth, seeking to be holistic in its ministries.
I saw my visit to Malawi as a typical example of the beginnings of Methodism in Ghana. It was at the request for Bibles from the young people in Ghana that brought the first missionary Danwell. So going to Malawi at the request of the bishop, I also see it as an example of us also going to help in Malawi. And so we should see it as God's plan to appeal to Methodist Church Ghana to go over, just as we appealed and people came for us to also go and help them. We should see it as God sent, and we should not play down on it, but make every effort to make sure that Methodism grows in Malawi.
As John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, once said, "Do you not know that God entrusted you with that money, all above what buys necessities for your families, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to help the stranger, the widow, the fatherless, and indeed as far as it will go, to relieve the wants of all mankind." You can support the Malawi Methodist Church today in kind or cash. Contact the Methodist Church Ghana Conference Office Accra on 0302 670 355 or 0302 679 223.
Finally, let me wish you well in Chikawa, as the Malawians will speak and say, God bless you. Mulungu akudade 10 Nusi. God bless you richly.